What is the best way to sand damaged wood perfectly? Imagine turning rough, damaged wood into a smooth, beautiful surface ready for a new finish. Sanding is the key step that makes this transformation possible. To do it right, start by inspecting your wood. If it has deep gouges, old paint, or thick varnish, you need to begin with a coarse grit sandpaper, usually between 60 and 80 grit. This aggressive grit helps remove layers quickly without taking off too much wood. Use a power sander like an orbital or belt sander for large flat areas to save time and get even results. For detailed spots or edges, switch to a sanding block or hand sandpaper. When you start, work in small sections and follow the grain of the wood. This prevents scratches and uneven spots. After the initial rough sanding, move to a medium grit, around 100 to 150 grit. This smooths out the surface and begins evening out any remaining rough patches. Keep your pressure light and consistent, and always sand along the grain. Once the surface feels smooth, switch to a fine grit between 180 and 120 grit. This final step creates a silky, even surface perfect for finishing. If you want an extra polished look, especially on soft woods like pine, go up to 400 grit. Before you start sanding, it's a good idea to lightly draw a pencil grid on the wood. As you sand through each grit, erase the pencil marks. This helps you see where you've sanded and ensures you don't miss any spots. Pay close attention to edges and corners, making sure they're just as smooth as the flat surfaces. Be gentle, especially with higher grits, because pressing too hard can create dips or gouges. After sanding, clean off all dust with a vacuum or a brush. For reclaimed wood, you might want to use a wire brush or a small sander to remove dirt and grime while keeping the character marks. If you plan to stain or apply a water-based finish, let the wood dry completely first. Then do a light sanding with fine grit to smooth out any fibers that raise during cleaning. Proper sanding takes patience, but it makes a big difference in how your project looks. When you apply your finish, do it in thin, even coats, sanding lightly between each layer. This helps hide imperfections and gives you a professional-looking result. Remember, good sanding is the foundation of a beautiful, long-lasting finish on your upcycled wood projects.